Welcome to Unity of Mesa's hybrid service. Those of you who are online, thank you for being present with us. If you'll put where you're from in the chat, I'll come back and say hello. If you have a prayer request, feel free to put that in the chat. I'll come back and hold you in prayer. And those of you who are here in person, welcome. Look around and see the other beautiful angel beings that are here with you today. Isn't it fantastic? Yay, so let's give ourselves a hand for being present in this moment. And I want to open with a prayer. This turning within and finding that place of joy within you. Even if you've had a difficult week, if there's been sadness or hurt or pain, anger, whatever the feeling is, they're all valid feelings. So just let the joy, the love that you are, simply wrap around and give all those feelings a hug. And we give thanks for the one presence and the one power that's active in our lives, the presence and power that we call God and you can call by many names. And it's still that one presence and one power. We give thanks for the ability to come together, to be together here this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whenever you are here online, but in this moment, present to ourselves and to each other, present to the Spirit of God, flowing in, through, and as us, present to the light that we are, and learning tools and techniques for expanding that light so that we live our absolute best life. And we can celebrate each day, every day, knowing that we make a difference in the world, that our presence makes a difference. And so it is, and so we let that be. Amen. My name is Reverend Nikki Golden. I'm one of the co-ministers. Reverend Mindy Tucker is the other co-minister. She will be given the lesson today. Karen Piper is the board member of the day, and she did the opening and the gong. Isn't it beautiful, our new gong? It's incredible. It was a donation.
In case you missed it. Okay, well, it's never going to be my job to ring the gong, so there you go.
Yeah, we can make it your job once in a while to ring the gong.
Yeah.
But a congregant gave it to us. We have this is Yari, and we have Nichole Jensen singing for us today. So we have a lot of wonderful things that are occurring for us today. Are you ready? Are you? Yes. Yes. Are you anticipating? Yes. How cool. So we have town hall this afternoon, right after church. It starts at 11:45. That's not quite exactly right after church, but it's sort of right after church. Town hall, this is where we share the activities and the business of the church. And so it's a very important place for you to come if you want information about what's going on other than in this hour together. This hour is our time of celebrating each other, celebrating life, and learning how to live in a more full way.
Mark your calendars for 5 Tuesdays beginning on Valentine's night. Give yourself a treat. Love yourself enough to come for 5 weeks on Tuesday with Reverend Eliza Bloom Robinson as she does expansive, empowered living. It's a class.
And part of our community service in March is to do an outside community service, Feed My Starving Children. Sue King, would you stand up, please? There's a sign-up sheet in the back. There's Sue. See her if you have questions. There's a sign-up sheet in the back. Under the sign-up sheet is the information. I'm going to get mama-ish on you. If you sign up, please plan to come. We are limited to 25 people. And if you sign up and you don't come, you've taken the space of somebody else. So I'm not trying to guilt you, but I'm trying to give you some facts.
Facts. For the next 2 Saturdays at 10 a.m., if you are an industrious person and have some gloves, we will begin our re-sculpting of our garden project. And the beginning is to pick up bricks from where they are and move them, because there's a nice berm in our garden that when the rain falls, it lets the water go right into our building. So we're going to move the berm so the water goes right into the garden. So if you want to be a part of that project for a couple of hours on a Saturday morning, it's this Saturday and the following Saturday. Bring your gloves, and if you have a shovel, bring your shovel.
Mm-hmm. And next Sunday, it's Super Bowl Sunday. If you're wondering about what your treats are, the Youth and Family Ministry is doing a bake sale as a fundraiser. The youth will be baking on Saturday, and we're inviting you to bring things that you have baked to sell also so that we can support our youth. The money goes for things like going to rally and going to camp, so they have a broader experience of the greater unity community. Plus, when they go to camp, when they go to rally, they get a chance to bond with each other in a different way than they do here.
The second and the fourth Sundays, we have meditation in the Annex building. It's 25 minutes of sitting in the silence. There's something mystical. I was going to say magical, but it's really a mystical experience. Go deep with Karen Pfeiffer over there in the Annex, 9:30 next Sunday and on the fourth Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And now we have a song. So if you are able, please stand and let's fill the room with joyful sound.
Thank you, Marianne, for coming up.
Resurrect your soul, wake up and behold, open your eyes and see, you are your destiny. Resurrect your soul, let truth unfold. Now is your season, your time. Renew your heart and your mind. Resurrect your soul, wake up and behold. Open your eyes and see, you are your destiny. Resurrect your soul, let your truth unfold. Now is your season, your time. Renew your heart and your mind. Resurrect your soul, wake up and behold. Open your eyes and see, you are your destiny. Resurrect your soul, let your truth unfold. Now is your season, your time. Renew your heart and your mind. Now is your season, your time. Renew your heart and your mind.
Sit down unless you have a birthday in February, in which case, please stay standing so we can sing to you. There's Steve Trozon dancing and Donna. Yay, and J.A.M. We're going to sing to you.
Happy birthday to you. There's no one like you, uniquely created. I love knowing you. I bless you with life and abundance galore. God bless you, my loved ones, and have many more.
It's on? Yes, now it is. Wonderful. I'm here with Miss Katie, and she is here to lead us in today's youth affirmation. So I'll hand the mic to you.
I generously share my love in my heart. Say it with me. I generously share the love in my heart.
Thanks, Katie. Thank you. Before our youth exit for their segment, we're going to give them our blessing. So let's go right ahead. Children, we We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. Thank you.
Hope you can take that blessing in for yourself also. For we all have a little child within us. Actually, we have every age of child that we are within us. All beings are words of God. In the out of way places of our heart, where our thoughts never think to wonder, and yet sometimes do. This beginning has quietly formed, waiting for you to reemerge into it. Your destination is not always clear. You can trust the promise of the opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning, that one that creates your life's desire. Awaken to the spirit of adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to be at ease in taking a risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you.
I can hear you, but I won't. Some look for trouble, while others don't. There's 1,000 reasons I should go about my day and ignore your whispers, which I wish would go away. Oh, oh. You're not a voice, you're just a ringing in my ear. And if I heard you, which I don't, I'm spoken for, I fear. Everyone I've ever loved is here within these walls. I'm sorry, secret siren, but I'm blocking out your calls. I've had my adventure, I don't need something new. I'm afraid of what I'm risking if I follow you into the unknown. Into the unknown. Into the unknown. What do you want? You've been keeping me awake. Are you here to distract me so I make a big mistake? Or are you someone out there who's a little bit like me, who knows deep down I'm not where I'm meant to be? Every day's a little harder as I feel your power grow. Don't you know there's a part of me that longs to go into the unknown, into the unknown, into the unknown. Oh, are you out there? Do you know me? Do you feel me? Can you show me? Oh, 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 oh. Where are you going? Don't leave me alone. How do I follow you into the unknown?
Nikki and I are focusing this month on the teachings of Raymond Charles Barker. I don't know about you, but I have some people in my life who don't seem to have a first name and a last name. They just have one name that goes all together. Like I have a colleague, John Riley. He's never John. He's never Reverend Riley. He's always John Riley. Raymond Charles Barker is not Raymond, and he's not Raymond Charles, but he's always Raymond Charles Barker. So Raymond Charles Barker grew up in Unity. His parents were founding members of the Unity in Rochester, New York. So he was, he just grew up with Unity all around him. And then he got to a place in his life where he felt the call to ministry. So he went to ministerial school in Kansas City, and then he became a faculty member at Unity World Headquarters teaching other ministers. And then he got ordained by Charles Fillmore himself. He went on, Raymond Charles Barker, went on to found Unity of Syracuse. So when I say that he was Unity, I mean he was like seriously Unity until he met Ernest Holmes. He converted. He converted. While Eric Butterworth, one of Unity's greatest ministers, was at Avery Fisher Hall at Lincoln Center in New York City, speaking to thousands every Sunday, Raymond Charles Barker was at Alice Tully Hall in Lincoln Center in New York City, speaking to thousands of people. So, I mean, his teachings and Eric Butterworth's teachings are still very much a part of the Unity movement, still very much a part of New Thought. They have value to us even to this day. In psychology, there are three kinds of motivation. Now, actually in psychology, there are more than three kinds, but for us non-psychology types, we're going to talk about three kinds of motivation. The first kind I'm going to talk about is the third, and it's maybe you're like, what? So the third kind of motivation is family motivation. It's what we do for our loved ones. It's what we do for a spouse or a partner or a child or for our family, for somebody. We are motivated to take care of them. We're motivated to support them. We're motivated to do things that enhance their quality of life. It's also the same kind of motivation that we have here at Unity of Mesa, where we're motivated to take care of, to be good stewards of our physical campus, of all the programs we have, because we recognize we're motivated because community is important to us. We believe in the mission. We believe what Unity of Mesa stands for. We believe in the value of empowering, energizing, and enlightening. So the other two kinds are extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic is that urge or that desire, that sense of purpose that you have. It's that spiritual calling, that spiritual guidance. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But extrinsic motivation is what we do based on something we either want to attain or avoid in our outer world. So we exercise to lose weight. That's extrinsic motivation. We show up to work on time so our boss doesn't yell at us. That's extrinsic motivation. My mother was a master at extrinsic motivation. She was absolutely a master. She would say things like, if you and your brother do the dishes, you can go to the beach for an hour. We're like, in, done. We're doing it. We want to go to the beach. She would say, if you practice your penmanship for an hour, you can swing on the swing for 15 minutes. So I embodied this strategy, and in my mind, it works really well. Yeah, I say things like, if I finish the vacuuming, I can engage in some self-care. If I finish the laundry, I can do my puzzle for 15 minutes, or I can go to the mall. So in my mind, it works perfectly, except in reality, which is different, that's in my mind. In reality, I don't do the self-care, and I don't do the puzzle, and I don't read the book, and I don't go to the mall. I give myself another job. If I do the laundry, then I can do the dishes. And if I do the dishes, then I can do the vacuuming. And if I do the vacuuming, I can go pull the weeds. And if I pull the weeds, and can you just see how it works? Yeah. Oh, she's the same way. Okay. So, here in my job, it's like, if I do the financials, then I can do my board report. And then I can reward myself by picking music for next Sunday, which is like, that's really a reward, but it's still more work. So in reality, I've actually abused my system because I treat myself with more work. So it's actually not quite as supportive as it's designed to be. But extrinsic motivation works, and it's good in a lot of ways. If you just think about sales incentives, that's extrinsic motivation. If you think about the lottery, that's extrinsic motivation. If you think about the law of mind action, it's extrinsic motivation. My thoughts and feelings held in mind produce after their kind. What can I get if I start doing that? Like, what can I get out there? But see, the thing about law of mind action is it also works intrinsically. I didn't forget to come back and talk about intrinsic motivation. It's that inner urge to have our soul unfold. It's that inner urge to know more of our oneness with God. It's that inner urge to have what Raymond Charles Barker calls health, wealth, love, and self-expression. It's that treat that we get because it's our calling. We weren't called to be poor. We are called to be prosperous. Say it with me. We are called to be prosperous. We are called to be prosperous. We aren't called to be sick. We are called to be healthy. We are called to be healthy. We aren't called to be, I don't know what. We are called to express our light. We are called to express our light. In unity and in New Thought, the word treat doesn't mean that thing we get. It doesn't mean that end result. It's actually affirmative prayer. It's using our thoughts and our feelings in that law of mind action way to create that sense, that knowing, that experience of wealth, health, love, and self-expression. We call it treatment. It's not really a prayer, but it's affirmative prayer. It's taking that truth that we sense inside and applying our highly accelerated mind action to it. Raymond Charles Barker wrote a beautiful treatment which I have gifted you with. Unity of Mesa has gifted you with. We put it on a little card. And for those of you watching online, it's going to come up on the slide. So you can take a picture of the slide while it's up. And to treat ourselves to life, to treat ourselves to happiness, let's read this treatment together. All the love there is in the world is in me and around me at this instant. It is waiting only for the release that comes through my active awareness of it. All the health there is in the world is mine at this instant. It is waiting only for the revelation of my perfect human nature covered by my ailing humanity. All the riches I need in the world are mine at this instant. They await only my acceptance. The creative drive I have always had is now in action. It is calling and waiting for me to let it out in the world, to let it shine before a world that will receive me with love, warmth, and joy, since I and creation are one, inseparable and eternal. Ah, how do you feel? Good? Good? Do you really feel good? I mean, all the love, all the health, all the riches, all the creative expression, all. I mean, think of it's almost a little intimidating to recognize our power. It's almost a little intimidating to recognize that the entirety of the kingdom of heaven is ours, right here on this piece of paper, waiting for us to activate, waiting for us to receive. So what happens to our minds is we go, I'm not sure I'm ready for that kind of unknown, because if I have all that I need and all that I want, all the love, all the health, all the wealth, all the creativity, all the self-expression, then that probably means I've changed. And with change, a lot of times there's fear. Fear that is not our friend. We have this illusion that with this knowledge, we should never be afraid of the unknown. We should never be afraid of uncertainty. We think that somehow in our mind that we should always feel safe. We should always be able to talk ourselves into that sense of the only way to get joy. It's a short circuit in our mind. Some of the greatest joys in my life, well, one is having children. I get so much love and warmth. I mean, like, I feel like I lead with my heart. It's like this when I think about my children. There's so much joy. When I think about my relationship with Nikki, it's like, oh, there's so much joy. But did I have to take a risk or two or 200 in order to experience this kind of joy? There's a risk for everything we do. There's a risk for things we don't do. So there's a risk if we just stay home. There's a risk if we only drive on surface streets instead of the freeway. There are risks in absolutely every choice we have. So our choice is not about how do I avoid the risk. It's which risk do I take? How do I let go of the familiar? How do I let go of my habits? How do I let go of my habitual patterns? How do I let go of that and get into the unknown and still somehow create that true sense of safety? Tama Kieves wrote a book, Thriving in Uncertainty, or Thriving Through Uncertainty is the name of it. And if you could put up that slide, Ben, she says, a life of thriving requires us to choose between the illusion of safety and ultimate safety. And how do we know what that is? It's because all of a sudden that intrinsic motivation is leading us. I mean, we probably look like a real nerd. Can you imagine if everybody walked around going like this? But that's like we're leading with our heart because we're following our bliss. We're following that stream of joy. We're recognizing that we're in the flow of life. And that's how we want to treat ourselves all the time instead of backing up into what we know. That's really getting us nowhere. Whereas creating some realization of our ultimate safety is what can help us and support us in making the choice between one risk and another. Tammy Keeves, in her book, she writes a story about how she quit her high-powered attorney job, and she decided she was just going to live life in a whole nother way. And a part of her living the life was having adventures. So she went on this hike in Oregon with her boyfriend. And it was just the most beautiful day. And they went through the forest and And finally, at the end of the trail, they reached the vista, which was the deep blue of the Pacific Ocean. And they had one of those fall down on their knees, sing the holy gospel kind of moments. They were so overcome with the beauty of what they saw. So they sat there and they sat there and they sat there, and the sun began to evaporate in the sky. And all of a sudden they realized that they were in trouble because they were wearing t-shirts and shorts. And in the Pacific Northwest, that cold water it creates nice cold wind, and it comes in, and they had to absolutely hightail it back to their car. So there they were trying to outrun the dusk, and they were going faster and faster when they started hearing this really weird knocking noise, and her boyfriend slowed down because he thought, maybe I could see a moose. Maybe I'll see something cool. Maybe there's something really neat going on. And her type A personality was like, liability, risk. And she kept going faster and faster. So she was actually quite a bit ahead of him. And as she went down the trail, she's looking right and left, and she's trying to discern what all the dark blobs are in between the trees. And all of a sudden, then the birds fly out, and it's eerily quiet. And then she knew something wasn't quite right. And she looked at the blob, and she recognized that the blob was a bear. A bear. She said she was just like a cartoon character walking backwards. She walked backwards until she remembered how to breathe, and then she turned around and found her boyfriend. Then the big debate began. What do we do? There's a bear between us and the car. There's a bear between us and our freedom. She says in her book that the irony wasn't lost on her, because here she had what she called a 900-hour-a-week job that she quit so she could live in uncertainty, so that she could live a creative life, so that she could become a writer, and she could be in the great unknown. And here she was facing, like, okay, we're pretty certain that if we stay here, we're going to die of hypothermia. So that's what we know. And there's the unknown, is how do we get by that bear? Since she put the story in her book, we know she got past the bear. But what she said was, it was a matter of holding a clear intention and following that nudge or those threads of freedom and joy that she felt in her heart. So it wasn't a matter of avoiding the bear. It was really a matter of following her heart. And then she and her boyfriend made it to the car, and she and her boyfriend went to a greasy diner right down the road where they acted like they had just seen a UFO, and they were telling the waitress, and they said, all we need is some French fries. See, this woman speaks to my heart. All we needed some French fries. She said they were probably way too greasy and way too salty, but they were the best French fries she's ever had. Part of her joy, part of her living in the unknown. She says, we are thriving just by being in the fray. Uncertainty is our superpower. It's our oxygen. It is necessary. It shakes us awake. With uncertainty, we are walking into the great unknown. It's scary because anything can happen. It's wonderful because finally, anything can happen. Finally, anything can happen. I love this. Uncertainty is our superpower. Joe Dispenza would say the same thing. He would say being in the unknown is our superpower. It means that we're willing to break the habit of being ourselves. It means that we're willing to leave what we know for certain behind. It means that we recognize that fear is just a feeling and it's part of who we are, and we're always going to be taking risks. Always. With uncertainty, we are walking into the great unknown. It's scary because anything can happen. But finally, it's wonderful because anything can happen. Let's turn that into an affirmation and say it together. If you are willing. Let's say it together. Uncertainty is my superpower. I'm willing to treat myself to the great unknown. Finally, anything can happen. So let's get some good hand motions. Uncertainty is my superpower. I am willing to treat myself in the great unknown. Finally, anything can happen. Whew, how does that make you prepared for meditation? Yeah, Let's just do it one more time. Uncertainty is my superpower. I am willing to treat myself into the great unknown. Finally, anything can happen. I'm going to ask Marianne and Nichole and Yari to come up. You too, Reverend Nikki, or not? Yes? We're all gonna serenade you. Actually, the words will come up on the screen. Well, you're gonna sing "Lead Me to the Light" as we come into a time of meditation. Lead me
To the light. Lead me to the light. Help me to make it through. Lead me into the light.
Let's breathe in and out through our nose. Allowing oxygen to refuel the cells in our body. In and out through the nose. Recognizing that we are on the precipice of all that is good. All the wealth, all the health, all the love, all the self-expression our heart desires. It is here and available to us at this instant. We are fully immersed in the light, the love, and the joy of God. Breathing in, breathing out. We open our arms to fly. to glide, to soar, to see more than we've ever seen before. To feel more than we've ever felt before. We are fully equipped for our own expression of all that we are called to be. Breathing deeper and more easily, we rest in the holy and sacred silence. On the wings of love, on the wings of self-expression, on the wings of wealth and health, we fly back to a new time, a new world, treating ourselves to uncertainty, treating ourselves to the unknown, for this is where our joy and our happiness and our freedom lives. Coming back into this time, this place, we come back with faith, with an imagination that's more colorful than before, and with a deep wisdom that we are always in the right place at the right time, right now. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen, amen, and amen.
Good morning. Good morning again. I'm Karen Pfeiffer. I am the board member of the day. The ushers are bringing up the baskets, and we'll be passing the baskets. We're very grateful for all of the donations, all of the giving that everyone gives to kind of keep this church going. So why don't we look at the ways that we can give? I think we've got a slide. Online, the Vango app, text, the number's there. You can mail a check or in person in the baskets. So I'm trying to think. The blessing first. Okay. So Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive. And so it is. So you guys can go. Oh, she's going to. Hello? One of the things I think people don't realize is that we are a nonprofit. So whatever you give to the church is tax deductible. I say that because we just got all of our statements for the end of the year that we get to declare on our taxes as a donation. So it's really helpful to kind of keep that in perspective when you're giving. The other part is if you set it up, the online giving or the Vanco, you can do it on a continuous basis so that you don't really have to think about it. Just every month, something comes out of your account and goes towards supporting this church and the many programs that we have. So just thought I'd bring that to your attention. Thank you.
When they push, when they pull, tell me, can you hold on? When they say you should change, can you lift your head high and stay strong? Will you give up giving when your heart's crying out that it's wrong? Will you love you for you in the end of it all? Now in life, there's gonna be times when we're feeling low, and in your mind, insecurity seems to take control. We start to look outside ourselves for acceptance and approval. We keep forgetting that the one thing we should know is don't be scared to fly alone. Find a path that is your own. Love will open every door. In your hands, the world is yours. Don't hold back and always know all the answers, they will unfold. What are you waiting for? Spread your wings and soar. Oh, oh. The boy who wonders, is he good enough for them? Keeps trying to please them all, but just never seems to fit in. Then there's the girl who thinks she never ever be good enough for him, and keeps trying to change, and that's a game she'll never win. Now in life, there's gonna be times when you're feeling low, and in your mind, insecurity tries to take control. We start to look outside ourselves for acceptance and approval. We keep forgetting that the one thing we should know is don't be scared to fly alone. Find a path that is your own. Love will open every door. In your hands, the world is yours. Don't hold back and always know all the answers, they will unfold. What are you waiting for? Spread your wings and soar. Da, da, da. In the mirror where she comes face to face with her fears, her own reflection now foreign to her after all these years. All of her life has tried to be something beside herself. Now time has passed and she ended up somewhere else with regret. What is it in us that makes us feel the need to keep pretending? Gotta let ourselves be. Don't be scared to fly alone. Find a path that is your own. Love will open every door. In your hands, the world is yours. Don't hold back and always know all the answers, they will unfold. What are you waiting for? Spread your wings and soar. Don't hold back to fly alone. Find a path that is your own. Love will open every door. It's in your hands, the world is yours. Don't hold back and always know all the answers, they will unfold. What are you waiting for? Spread your wings and soar. Don't wait no more. You can soar. Don't wait no more. You can soar. What are you waiting for? You can soar.
Oh, the ushers are coming forward. Together we bless the generosity, the ways that you support this spiritual community, whether it's right here in the basket or online or through text or the mail. Together we say, we are one with the opulence of God. We are now in the flow of infinite abundance, and we give thanks for the prosperity that is ours by divine right.
We invite you to join us for